my lifetime, we've faced 2 world wars, a war in Korea, and then Vietnam. And I know this: I want our children never to have to face another. A president's most important job is to secure peace, not just now, but for the lifetimes of our children. But it takes a strong America to build a peace that lasts. And I believe with all my heart that working together, we have made America stronger and prouder and more secure today. And now we can work toward a lasting peace for our children and their children to come. Peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. Today, America is prepared for peace. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it, now or ever.
In fact, in the 12 years after I left office, the United States used its military force in action 32 times. So
good to have you with us tonight, folks. Thanks for watching. If it were just only a game, right? The presidential debate last night was ugly. It was an ugly night because the truth left the building. It took a beating. Give Mitt Romney credit, though. He was an all-American liar last night. And the president seemed to leave his best material, his best game at home. For millions of Americans, it was extremely hard to watch Mitt Romney lie the way he did and get away with it.
First of all, I don't have a $5 trillion tax cut. I don't have a tax cut of the scale that you're talking about. My view is that we ought to provide tax relief to people in the middle class.
The lie is so outrageous, it's breathtaking. Mitt Romney has campaigned across this country promoting a 20% reduction in the tax rate. His plan would give the richest 1% of Americans an additional $60,000 tax cut. For those at the very top, the 0.1 percenters, they would get a $264,000 tax cut. The cost? Well, it's $456 billion per year. How do you like that? Romney can eliminate every deduction from the tax code, and he still will not be able to cover the cost of these tax cuts. But Romney didn't need to address any of these specifics. He just needed to lie about it. It's a strategy another president used when he was asked about his proposed tax cuts for the rich.
Let me just tell you what the facts are. The facts are, after my plan, the wealthiest of Americans pay more taxes of the percentage of the whole than they do today.
Really? Here we go again. A Republican candidate has a plan for massive tax cuts for the rich and tells the American people the exact opposite in a debate. It only works if the candidate is a good liar. Presentation does matter. Give him credit. Last night, Mitt Romney was pretty good on style, but he had a boatload of lies. Check out this triple whammy, where Romney spits out one lie after another with complete conviction.
We didn't raise taxes. You've raised them by $1 trillion under Obamacare. We didn't cut Medicare. Of course, we don't have Medicare, but we didn't cut Medicare by $716 billion. We didn't put in place a board that can tell people ultimately what treatments they're going to receive.
So in one swoop, Mitt Romney accused the President of the United States of raising taxes. The President has cut taxes. He accused the President of cutting Medicare. The President gave seniors an additional savings from Medicare. He even accused the President of creating a medical treatment board. Yes, Romney played the old death panel card. Romney was an artful liar when it came to health care.
Number one, pre-existing conditions are covered under my plan. Number two, young people are able to stay on their family plan.
This is such a big lie. Romney's own advisor had to shoot it down after the debate. Eric Bernstrom was pressed about Mitt Romney keeping pre-existing conditions as a part of his plan. He said, "We'd like to see states do what Massachusetts did. In Massachusetts, we have a ban on pre-existing conditions." In other words, it's not in Romney's plan, and they're leaving it up to the states. Feel confident about that? Romney was rewarded for his skillful lying with a hero's welcome at a conservative political conference in Colorado today. Senior Obama advisor David Axelrod admitted the president can't let Romney's lies go unchecked next time around.
He made a choice last night to answer the questions that were asked and to talk to the American people about what we need to do to move forward and not to get into serial fact-checking with Governor Romney, which can be an exhausting, never-ending pursuit. But obviously, moving forward, we're going to take a hard look at this.
No doubt, last night was a moment of disappointment for progressives in this country, but it's not a moment of defeat. It is the only time, really, that Mitt Romney has had even a slice of momentum in the last 6 months. He has the wind at his back because he lied really well and wasn't challenged on all of his falsehoods. There just wasn't enough time to do it all. But the fundamentals of the race, my friends, have simply not changed. Liberals need to temper their frustration from last night and just look at the big picture. We need to insist Mitt Romney does not get a pass on any blatant lies in the future. Fortunately, it looks like the president understands where he was weak last night. He tried to make up some lost ground by going after Mitt Romney's lies today.
When I got onto the stage, I met this very spirited fellow who claimed to be Mitt Romney. But it couldn't have been Mitt Romney, because the real Mitt Romney has been running around the country for the last year, promising $5 trillion in tax cuts that favor the wealthy. The fellow on stage last night said he didn't know anything about that.
A lot of people are wondering on the sidelines, why President Obama didn't take the fight to Mitt Romney last night. It's a fair question, not critical, but fair. But it's clear the president realizes he can't sit back and let Romney's lies go unchallenged.
So Governor Romney may dance around his positions, but if you want to be president, you owe the American people the truth.
During an event in Madison, Wisconsin, President Obama looked re-energized. He took on some of the most outrageous moments of Romney's presentation last night.
But I just want to make sure I got this straight. He'll get rid of regulations on Wall Street, but he's going to crack down on Sesame Street. Thank goodness somebody's finally cracking down on Big Bird. Who knew that he was responsible for all these deficits?
Most importantly, the president's campaign showed a willingness to take the fight to the airwaves again. The Obama camp released a television ad pointing out Romney's blatant lies.
Why won't Romney level with us about his tax plan, which gives the wealthy huge new tax breaks? Because according to experts, he'd have to raise taxes on the middle class or increase the deficit to pay for it. If we can't trust him here, how could we ever trust him here?
And I know a lot of lefties woke up today wondering why it felt like they had a little bit better command of the material than the president did. Well, who knows? But today, the president and his campaign showed a willingness to change direction when things don't go according to plan. Get your cell phones out. I want to know what you think. Tonight's question: will Mitt Romney get away with lying to the American people? Text A for yes, text B for no to 622-639. You can always go to our blog at ed.msnbc.com, and I'll bring you the results later on in the show. Joining me tonight, Stephanie Cutter.